All right, we are live. Long time no here, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, Barnon 11970. This was an unscheduled video, but I promised my subscribers anytime I came up with something that I think can be life-changing, I was going to make a video, and that's exactly what I'm about to share with you right now. Now, provided I haven't done a video in about a month, I'm sure, and especially since I'm doing this last second, many people will see this when it's processed, and that actually works out better, so you'll get the whole thing. So if you're just tuning in late, you might want to wait until the beginning or just rewatch it so you can get it, because this one I think can be life-changing. And if anybody could be kind enough to share this, if you feel it's going to be beneficial, please do get the message out there. So before I start, because I want to wait and give people a couple of minutes to see that there's a video so they can tune in, I'm in the process of moving. We're getting a house. We're moving out of state. So to be able to finance that, I am selling some items of mine, some comic books that I have. I have one gold bar that I'm selling. And don't forget my Orgon pyramids. So I have a link to my store. If anybody wants to check them out, it's helping not only with our move, but also to help with our cat Luna, who is improving. She has her good and bad days, but with all the natural medicines and stuff we're giving her, we've helped her a lot. So I do have a video that I made here about a month and a half ago about how you can save your animals and help them live longer. In typical YouTube fashion, they've ghost banned it, and on a channel that has 48,000 subscribers, that video only has about 500 or 600 views, so please check that out. Alright, so I want to start getting into this because, like I said, this is going to be life-changing. Those of you who've been watching my channel for a while know that every now and then I'll have these dreams where, whether I'm contacted or it's just a dream or it's whatever, I don't know, but I value the information that I get, and there's been plenty of times where I wake up from a dream that leaves a lasting impression that totally changes my concept of how this world works. And this is one of those times, and I want to share this with all of you, so I hope you will share this. So, welcome to those that are starting to arrive, and I want to see if you answer this question. As you could see, most likely all of you will get this answer wrong because of how we've been programmed. So the question is, and if you want to write this either live or if you're watching this, hours, days, weeks, months later, once you hear the question, pause it and write what you think it might be in the comments section and see if you were right. But I promise you most of you will get this wrong because I would have gotten it wrong until I got this information. And the question is, and if you want to answer it live, you can, and let's see who knows, what is the most powerful thing in the universe? So if you're not watching this live, I want you to think about that for a second, pause the video, and put in the comments section your honest answer of what you think the most powerful thing in the universe is. So I'll give people a moment, and then I'll go on from here. So if anybody in the live chat wants to say what they think that the most powerful thing in the universe is, please write it down. And I'm already starting to see the answer of what I expect most people to say. Now I'm going to say you're almost right, but it's not the most powerful thing in the universe, and I'm going to explain why. This dream I had, whatever it was, whatever entity, whatever it was, the message was all about love, and it left an impact that I will never forget, and it's already changed my life. As a matter of fact, when I was talking about in the beginning of this video that we are moving, I had to come up with about $24,000 to $27,000 within 45 days. Otherwise, we were going to lose our ability to move and could potentially become homeless. But because of this video that I'm about to do, it changed my perspective. I got all of the money I needed within 2 weeks. So, most people are going to say that love is the most important thing. Well, I was given the top 3 things and the explanation as to why they are the way they are, and how evil could never actually win because of what they called, or whatever it was, the message called, a fail-proof protection program for the universe. So here are the top 3 most powerful things in the universe, and then I will give explanations for them, and you will see it makes sense. Number 3 is empathy. Empathy is when you feel bad for something, or you feel sorrow for something. It's caring about more than just yourself. Empathy is something that is not for the selfish, it's for the selfless. Those who want to build a shelter because it helps the homeless, or wants to take in an injured animal to help end up healing it. It's the love of something other than yourself. So that is the 3rd most powerful thing in the universe. The 2nd most powerful thing in the universe is love. That is the 2nd, because love is caring. You cannot have love without empathy. So they go hand in hand. But here's where no one will ever get the answer right as the number 1 thing. And I would have never thought about this, and it changed my life. It will change yours in every way. The most powerful thing in the universe is choice. Because think about it. Everybody will say love is the first, but remember, you can choose who you love. You can choose to change that love. You don't love everybody the same. It's your choice to find somebody you think is a soulmate, or somebody that you thought was a soulmate and you no longer have the love for them. So as powerful as love is, you have to make the choice to be able to give it or receive it. And if you think about that, choice means the reason for the whole purpose of the universe. In other words, this dream was the most life-changing dream I've ever had. And then Gary says free will. That's another word for it. Choice means you make the ultimate decision. In other words, what you choose creates a path. Even not making a choice is making a choice. Like if you ever listen to the lyrics of the song Free Will by Rush, they even say that when you don't make a choice, you actually have made a choice. And that choice is to not do anything. And there are consequences. Like for an example, if somebody, God forbid, was drowning, you can choose to save them, which doesn't guarantee you will, or you can choose to not save them, which will pretty much speed up their chance of demise, or you can just say, you know what, I don't want to get involved. Well, that's still a choice. So Cindy says free will is an illusion. And again, because of the beauty of the most powerful thing is choice, because you choose that to be your truth, it will become your truth. In other words, you create your own personal universe based on your choice of making a decision. So if you think about how this world, at least on an earthly plane, works, nobody can force you to do anything, but they can make you believe that they can. In other words, they influence your choices by you believing whatever is influencing you. But it's ultimately your choice because, you know, there have been people who were murdered for not going, like, for example, some slave or somebody, they tried to escape. You could get murdered, so there is a consequence. But they stood for their own choice. So I'm not saying every choice you make is going to lead you down a path of, you know, roses and rainbows. But when people understand, or what I like to call understand, that your choices, even if you choose not to make them, creates your destiny. That's why, for example, if you have something like the flat earth movement, you'll have people that say the earth is flat, and you have people say the earth is round. Now, if you ask either side, they're going to give you plenty of evidence that will lean you towards their direction. So, how can they both be right? The answer is because of choice creates your own reality, you will always, based on your belief and your feelings, create the universe that will back up what you believe in. So somebody else can say you're 100% wrong and you could say you're 100% right. Now, what was the purpose of choice in this universe, in this reality? Well, everything exists because of choice. Because if you think about it, if you had just the one, whatever the source is, whether that's God or a light or whatever, choice created the separation. Choice created creativity, expansion, everything. So they can always choose to go back at any moment if they so chose to. Or they may never decide to do that. It's irrelevant. But there are consequences for everything that does. And they said that because choice exists, it created the universe. Because it created ever expansion. It created the ability to go in directions that maybe no one ever would have thought of before. Create things that no one would have processed before. So choice is what created the universe. Infinity was created so at any moment you can change your mind. Because yes, as physical beings in a third-dimensional plane, our bodies only last for so long. But your ether, your existence, your soul, is immortal. It lives forever. Which means you could be the most evil person in the world. You could be the most evil soul in the universe. Infinity was created so if enough time goes by, that entity might decide, you know what, today's the day I'm tired of being evil. Or I'm tired of going in this one direction, and decides to change. And in the snap of a finger, everything can change in an instant. And that's why you can have people, whether you want to think you can control it or not, your life can change in an instant. It's that quick. And sometimes it's just a matter of direction. You know, it could be somebody walking or driving to work and decides, you know what, one day I'm just going to go a different route. Only to find out the bridge they would have normally crossed collapsed that day. Well, that definitely changes your life, doesn't it? It wasn't something you planned. So if you understand, or like I say, understand, that you have the choice to do the right thing, you have the choice to do the wrong thing, or you have the choice to do nothing, you are still making a choice. And that supersedes everything. It's how you react to things. That's why somebody who could be born with a handicap, like for example, there was a New York Yankees pitcher named Jim Abbott who either had his hand amputated, or he was born without a hand. One of his hands, I'm not sure which. Was told all his life he'll never be able to have his dream of being a baseball player. Not only did he complete his dream of becoming a baseball player, he went straight from high school to the major leagues, and at one point when he was with the New York Yankees, he threw a no-hitter. And this is a person who had one hand. His other hand was gone, regardless of whether it was in an accident or he was born that way. So he was a pitcher who put the glove on the stump part of his hand when he threw, and after he threw the ball, he would switch it onto his other hand so he can catch, and threw a no-hitter. Most people, when they have some kind of bad situation, they sit there and say, woe is me, or they want other people to make choices for them. And yes, we all can have very bad situations, but it's what you do with them that will put you on a path of either good things, bad things, or the odds of increasing or decreasing those odds from the way you choose to go with what you're given. If you ever played poker before, many people have won a hand that did not have the highest potential cards. Sometimes you could bluff your way into a win. There are people who have financially not a lot of money, but always seem to find enough ways to get by. And there are those who have plenty of money that end up losing everything quickly because they didn't think it would ever end. They didn't put the effort. They didn't make the right choice. Choices allow you to make other choices. In other words, you can decide to turn around if you're going in the wrong direction, or go in another way, or choose your belief. Because like I say, look at the word belief. I want you to write the word belief on a piece of paper. There's the word lie straight in the middle of it. And I'm posting this link because I'm selling some of my comic books and selling. I only have one gold bar that I'm selling, but I have that and my Orgon pyramids. It's helping to finance our move. We're moving out of state. Oh, it was 20. And how funny is that? Gary Baxter says 20 years ago today, a one-handed Yankee pitched a no-hitter, Jim Abbott. And I just talked about him. I didn't even know that. So let's put it this way. Do you think that's a coincidence? I just happened to mention of any handicapped person or a handicapable person, whatever you want to call it. Of all the people, I picked Jim Abbott. Didn't even know today is the 20th anniversary of that. How is that? You think this is a coincidence? Well, you can. You have every right to. Once I realized, because like I always say, you need real eyes to realize that your world, your personal space, your personal universe is created by your thought process, and you start to understand that there are others out there who will profit off of your being influenced. Once you understand the magic trick, they can no longer do it. When you're a child and a magician pulls a rabbit out of a hat, that's amazing. When a magician saws a woman in half, that's amazing. Until you realize the rabbit was already in the hat in a secret compartment, spoiler alert, or there were two women in the boxes, you're no longer fascinated by it. It no longer influences you. It's the same thing with choice. Once you realize you have the choice, and even realizing that when you make no choice, you've still made a choice, you can gain back control. And is it any wonder that I've been in this house for 21 years? And since 1992, I've had the problems that led me to where I am today, and somehow couldn't come up with the money that I needed to move, or didn't want to. And then all of a sudden, when I had this epiphany, whether it was God sent, alien sent, or just a dream that I happened to listen to, is irrelevant, because if the message is helpful, that's all that cares. All of a sudden, when I needed to get money to be able to get a house, no, it's no, Trump Tower or anything, but it's a home, I got it in about 2 weeks. Now I just need to come up with some of the money to help move. So, I understand most people will sit there and be defiant. And they'll say, well, what about people born with handicaps? Well, you never know the purpose of why they were there. Because another thing I had a dream about is our cat Luna. Now, if you know about the history of our cat Luna, she's very sick now. She has diabetes, heart disease, liver disease, pancreatitis. She had a urinary tract infection. And yet we got rid of most of it. We got it back to normal. Now, she's not doing too good today because, you're going to have those situations. But another part of a dream I had was finding out that on a subconscious level, the higher self of Luna thought, because she was abandoned all her life, the only way she could ever get love was to be sick. Because when you see a sick animal and you have empathy, you'll take care of it, won't you? You will love it. Some people will. So you never know what the purpose of why we're here for. Because remember, we're in vehicles right now. Right now, we're in a scuba suit. You want to go underwater, you need a suit to be in it. But that suit is not you. You are light. You are a soul. And you choose, through free will, to do whatever you want. Some people take the easy road. Some people take the wrong road. Some people take the hard road. Some people don't take any road. Well, if you don't take any road, you're still making a choice. Like, for example, if you're in your house and you have no food, you can choose to get food and you get food. You can choose to get food and you don't get food. Or you can choose to say, well, there's no sense. There's no food around. I'm not doing anything. I'm staying in my house. You think that's going to help you get food? You think food's going to fall from the sky? So by making the choice of making no choice, you've made a choice. And that's why love is not the most powerful thing in the universe, because you can choose who you love. You can choose who you don't love. How many of you love Hitler? If we're supposed to love everything and everyone, people should love Hitler, but yet you don't. Isn't that a choice? Doesn't that supersede love? So I'm not saying love isn't a powerful thing, but it's not as powerful as your choice in who you give it to, or what you give it to, or if you give it to. So now, what was the purpose of the top 3 most powerful things that I got in this dream, and what I was talking about earlier, about it being the universe's foolproof safe mechanism, its foolproof plan? Well, what they basically told me, and they kept saying it was we, that evil could never win, because for evil to become the most powerful thing in the universe, it first has to have empathy, because it has to be stronger than empathy. Then it has to have love, and then it could make the choice. But by the time it got to that point, there would be no desire to be evil any longer, because empathetic creatures with love in their hearts don't want to dominate and rule and create destruction. So what they're saying is, you could be the most evil thing in the universe, and at best, you would be the 4th most powerful thing in the universe. Because to become the number 1 powerful thing in the universe, you have to have empathy, you have to have love, and you have to make a choice. Which means anything that got close would not lose all desire to do what they planned out to do, which means evil can never win. And the creation of infinite in the universe is for anything evil to eventually change its mind. So you have forever to make a choice. So what is the most powerful thing? It is choice. So you can choose to believe that, or you can choose to not believe it, or you could be like many people who will never even see this video. If you get to the point where you understand that your most powerful thing about you is your choices, you will become more responsible in the choices you make or the choices you don't make. And you understand that there are consequences for every action, reaction, or non-action. So, yes, everybody's life is different. Some people have it easy, some people have it incredibly difficult. But you can choose to put a gun to your head. That'll end this lifetime, but will it make everybody around you happier? Will it make you become better? So, like they say, when the world hands you lemons, make lemonade. And one of the things I've done with this is I've become so much more understanding or understanding of things. As a matter of fact, I was telling this to my wife the other day, because I've said for a long time there are messages in music, TV, movies. You just got to be able to read them. And one of the songs I used to sing, because I used to be a lead singer of a band, some of you that have been watching my channel for a while know this, and this is relevant to this, so stick around, was a song called Drive by Incubus. And after I got all this stuff and I started becoming very perceptive of meanings of things, I heard the song Drive by Incubus for the first time in a different way and understood what the message was. Hold the wheel and drive. In other words, take responsibility for your own life. Will you choose water over wine? In other words, life will hand you, the people that control you will make things like wine to get you drunk, to get you dependent, to get you depressed, to make you sick, to potentially die or kill. Water is natural. Doesn't taste that great. It's not full of electrolytes or all sugars and all these other things they try and sell you. But they're saying, do you choose water over wine? In other words, do you choose the natural over what's man-made that will enslave you or injure you or depress you? But the whole song is about a person that decided to take their life back. It's not saying hold the wheel and drive a physical car. They're saying instead of allowing somebody else to drive you and hope you're being driven in the right direction, to take hold of the wheel, in other words, your life, and make your own decisions. You get to make the choice. Do you choose wine? But yeah, and Gizmo said, Jesus, take the wheel. That song is all about letting somebody else take the wheel and control your life. And you can choose to do that. You can choose to believe that. You ever wonder why so many people in this world now are telling you that they'll take care of you? Or telling you how to think? That you're sexist or racist or all these other things because somebody else said so? You can choose to believe it, choose not to believe it, or choose to do nothing about it. It will affect you. If you're standing at a beach and all of a sudden the water starts really severely going in to itself, some people say, wow, that's a tsunami. I better run. Some people will say, I'm going to take some pictures. I don't believe that it's bad. Or you could be one of those people that doesn't even notice it. You don't think if that water starts coming rushing back, it's going to affect you? And Marco says, Jesus Christ is mic drop. I don't understand that, but okay. I'm not sure what... See, this is the thing. This whole world is filled with people trying to tell you how to live your life. In other words, they're influencing your life because you allow them to. I'm not telling you you have to believe a word I said. It works for me, and it's worked ever since, and it changed my whole perspective of life. You could say, Chris, you're absolutely crazy. Or you could say, Chris, you're 100% right. Or you could say, you know what, I don't care either way. Either way, you make a choice. Make one. Because even when you don't, you've made a choice. And when you understand, or like I say, when you understand that, you can guide your life in a better direction. Which doesn't mean, like I said, that you say, oh, I have choice. Now all of a sudden I'm going to have a Lamborghini. I'm going to have a mansion. I'm going to have a beautiful spouse. I'm going to have all the money I need. No, it just means that you're going to get off your butt and do something that is not right for you or not working for you. Or at least understand that there's consequences for not doing anything. Just imagine if you stayed in bed all day and did nothing. That might feel great for one day, maybe a day or two. Then all of a sudden you'll notice your muscles start atrophying. All of a sudden you'll notice you're starting to get fatter. All of a sudden you start getting bed sores. Next thing you know, you're dead. And Mark says, God gave us free will, use it well. Or don't use it. That's the thing about free will. Once it's been given to you, it cannot be taken away, but it can be manipulated by people who know more than the average person who chooses to not care. You don't have to believe in air to breathe it. Even the belief of knowing that you need air is maybe the reason why we have it. The idea is stop the others from influencing you in directions that do not give you the highest joy or puts you on a path that you want to be on. That's the thing about free will. Free will means you can do anything, which means somebody could be a jerk and spend their whole life ruining other people's lives by influencing them. Doesn't mean it has to be you. Because remember, even in the most apocalyptic stories in the Bible, whether you believe in it or not is irrelevant. But let's say there were floods. We're still here, aren't we? Which means just because there's a cataclysmic event does not mean it will or has to affect you. You don't go to a gun range, you're less likely to get shot. You're more likely to get shot if you enter a war. There's always ways. Use your free will. You've been given your brain to come up with ideas, and you've been given a heart to feel what is right and wrong. So trust it. If you don't trust it, that's your choice. And if bad things happen because you chose to do the wrong thing or you chose to do nothing, and you sit there and say, woe is me, I give up, well, isn't that a choice? See how it supersedes everything? And the reason most people are not going to like that is it puts the responsibility on them instead of everyone else. And this world is teaching you that everybody else is the fault for who you are, what you are, or where you are. And you could believe that and wonder why you never fly. They can clip your wings. Doesn't mean you can't make new ones or find another way. It's up to you. So I'm going to leave the video at that. The top 3 things, the most powerful things in the universe are empathy 3, love 2, choice 1. Evil cannot surpass those things because it would have to become those things and become more powerful than them to be able to get to that point, which means by default they would no longer have the desire to do what they intended to do. So from this wonderful dream that I've had, I got the explanation of the purpose of the universe, what ends up the most powerful things, how it can stop evil from ever thriving, and the purpose of infinity. It gives people infinite time to change their mind, or their soul, or their heart, whatever you want to think about it. So what you do with this information is up to you. It can change your life, and that could be good or bad. Or you could do nothing and stay the same. The beautiful thing is, your body one day will fade away, but your soul will be forever. So if you don't get it now, eventually you will, and that's the purpose of infinity. And that's a good one. Mr. Poole says, you can't soar with eagles when you work with turkeys. Well, once you make the choice that you no longer have to work with them, because when you say you have to do something, you make a choice. That choice creates your universe, and all of a sudden that universe becomes your truth. So if you say to yourself, I can't do something, well, the universe is saying, I guess that's what you want, so let's give that truth the proof it needs. And that's why you can have flat earthers giving you all the proof they want that the earth is flat. Sounds reasonable. Then you can go to the other side where they say the earth is round, and they'll give you plenty of examples, and they'll seem reasonable. How can they both be right? Well, in a universe of free will, where you create your own universe based on your own belief systems and your own feelings, you'll always have your truth different from others. Some will agree with them, and some won't. That's electricity combined with magnetism. Why do you think you get attracted to the things you love? And there you go, law of attraction. But remember, you could be in love with somebody, you could be attracted to somebody, and then one day you're no longer in love with them and you're no longer attracted to them. Sometimes that's by choice, sometimes it's somebody else's choice. So once you understand, or like I say, once you understand that choice is the most powerful thing, whether you believe in it or not, it's going to influence you. Which means you have to take back your own personal responsibility and stop waiting for others to do what you need to have done. You want to spend your life feeling sorry for yourself, the universe is going to give you plenty of things to feel sorry about. Not because it hates you, it's because it's giving you what you keep asking for. Think of God or the power source or whatever as like a robot. You can create a robot that can just slice little baby bunnies in half, and it wouldn't care because there's no feelings involved. It's just doing a job. Do you want to live that kind of life, being a robot, having no feelings, not caring, thinking you have no choice? So fear and hate and anger are very low vibrational energies. But you know, if you're trying to fly in an air balloon and somebody throws a bunch of weights in your basket, you're going to sink, even though you have the ability to fly. Most people will sit there crying, oh, look at all these weights in the basket. Now I can't soar. Well, take the damn weights out of the basket. Stop crying that your life is horrible. I did that for 15 years. Where did it get me? Now that I take responsibility, I'm making things happen. It doesn't guarantee they will, but it's a lot better than not doing anything or crying about it. Because like they say in the lottery, you gotta be in it to win it. If you don't play, you have no chance of winning. I would rather have a 0.0000001% chance than a 0.0 infinity chance. So this is stuff you're not going to hear in schools, in mainstream media, and probably on the majority of YouTube. This will be silenced by YouTube because they don't want people to have free will or the choice to know that evil cannot control you unless you allow them to, even if it's by your sheer ignorance of it. Because once you understand you have the choice to do whatever you want, you will take back responsibility and stop giving your energy to everything and everyone else. You know, don't be the sheep that goes into the line waiting to be slaughtered. Be the one that runs away. Because even if you get shot and killed while you're running away, at least you ended it on your terms, not somebody else's by just standing in line being the next one waiting for their head to be chopped off. Everything is choice. And when you realize that's the most powerful thing in the universe, that even supersedes love, not by much, but like I said, love is number 2 because you can have the choice of who you love, your life will change. Where it goes depends on how many choices you make from here on out. So I hope you will make the choice to do something positive for your life. Because if you've been sitting back feeling depressed and crying and upset and cursing God out or whatever, and you've done nothing, how's that working out for you? The beautiful thing about choice is you can always choose to go back to the way you were. So what do you have to lose other than the weight that has been holding you down when you're crying about not being able to fly? And trust me, I was there too. If those of you who've been watching my channel for a while know all the things I've gone through and have been going through. But I'm no longer a victim, and nobody controls me. Thanks for listening. Check out my link. If you can share it, that will help just as much. I'm trying to get some extra money to be able to move because it's going to cost us roughly about $3,000-$4,000 to move. So if anybody's interested in any of my comic books or my gold bar or any of my Orgone pyramids, please check them out. They also help with my medication for Luna because we're trying to heal her, but she's not there yet. We're getting there. So anybody that can even share the link, you are still contributing. So I hope you appreciate this message. What you take from it, I leave up to you. I am not a channel that tells you you have to think this way, or you have to do this, or you have to do that. I say, here is what I want to share with you. Do with it as you will. So thank you very much for listening. And if you could share it, it's going to help. Because right now, I have about 48,000 subscribers on this channel, and 34 people are watching. Now, most people will say, oh, that's depressing. But I look at it this way. YouTube has tried to silence me for years. And yet, 34 down to 33 people are still able to see this message. Which means they could never silence you 100%. Glass is half full that way. Much better way to think. And 777 says, where are you headed? I'm not talking about that yet until it happens. But it will be out of New York. And we'll just leave it at that for now. Hopefully you can understand. Or understand. So thanks for listening. Have a great night. I hope this message has helped even one of you. Because out of billions of people in the world, if I can change the life of one person to make their world better, then I did a pretty darn good thing. So would I love to help billions? Absolutely. But if I help one, who knows who that one might help? And if that one person can help get billions and I was the inspiration behind that, then you know what? In the long run, I helped the billions. But hopefully I help you. Thanks for listening. Let me know what you thought about this. And let me know if you put the wrong answer when I asked the question in the beginning of this video. Thanks for listening. Have a great night. And I'll see you next video.